faithfully delivering value and interpreting great books from around the world. Hi, this is Sally's Book Talk. Today, I'm going to introduce this book called Micro Innovation. The subtitle is Five Small Changes to Create Great Products. No one would deny the importance of innovation, but innovation often feels simple to talk about, yet hard to implement. Like, you have to think outside the box and bravely break boundaries to achieve it. But in fact, many innovations come from very small changes. For example, in the early 20th century, someone stuck a small stick into a regular candy, and the world's first lollipop was born. This small change turned a failing candy company profitable. It also created a whole new product category. This is what the book's authors want to show. You don't necessarily have to break the existing framework to achieve innovation. In the author's view, resources within the framework are actually very abundant. It includes both the internal components of the product itself and various external elements in the product and service chain. Instead of searching aimlessly in all directions for answers, it's better to focus within the framework, leverage existing resources, and use the simplest methods to achieve innovation. This is the origin of the book's title, Micro Innovation. This book has two authors. One is Jacob Goldenberg, a professor at Columbia Business School, and he has researched creativity patterns for many years and was once hailed by Wall Street as one of the most influential researchers in innovation. The other is Drew Boyd, a marketing expert with 30 years of practical experience who was long responsible for Johnson & Johnson's marketing and international market expansion. In 2010, Boyd stepped down from the front line and began providing innovation, consulting, and training exclusively to Fortune 500 companies. After analyzing hundreds of best-selling products from dozens of top companies like Johnson & Johnson, General Electric, and Procter & Gamble, these two authors found that despite each product's unique features, the innovations can actually be summarized into 5 micro-innovation strategy models. They are respectively subtraction, division, multiplication, task unification, and attribute dependency strategies. From a best-selling phone to an amazing marketing case. From a brilliant stage play to a streamlined process, the creative ideas that pop up in our lives and work can actually be achieved using these 5 strategies. In other words, this book combines practical experience with academic research, offering both a theoretical framework and actionable advice. Upon publication, it received acclaim from Robert Cialdini, author of bestsellers like Influence, business thinker Daniel Pink, and industry experts. Whether you're an entrepreneur, product manager, R&D specialist, or just looking to boost creativity, you can apply these strategies to break mental patterns. Next, I'll show you how these 5 strategies actually work. First, let's examine the subtraction strategy. Subtraction means removing a seemingly essential component from a product, then rethinking what advantages emerge, what new functions or needs does it serve. Some might ask, removing a critical part, could that possibly work? Let's consider this real-world example. In the 1990s, Motorola's Israeli subsidiary launched an unusual mobile phone. By unusual, because it lacked dialing, could only receive calls, not make them. Sounds totally crazy at first, right? I mean, aren't phones for making calls? Could even buy this. Here's the answer. Parents, no dialing meant no surprise bills from kids' calls, yet receiving function let parents track them. Plus, fewer features meant lower cost. If kids lost or broke it, no big loss. This phone dominated Israel's teen market, becoming Motorola's top seller there. It became many kids' first phone, building early brand loyalty. Ad agencies later hailed this as one of history's most creative marketing strategies. Steve Jobs, Apple's legendary CEO, was another subtraction master. In 2005, Apple released the first iPod Shuffle. Its innovations: USB stick size, no screen, and shuffle only playback. Just to add some context, the music player market back then was fiercely competitive, with every brand trying to pack more features into their products. The display screen, as the most prominent component, became a key focus. Every few months, new MP3 players with bigger screens and more features hit the market, as designers believed this would make song switching and playlist management easier. Against this backdrop, Apple's screenless MP3 seemed like a foolish anomaly. Removing the display appeared like technological regression. Actually, this change made the user experience simpler and more enjoyable. Shuffle mode eliminated playlist management hassles while adding surprise and anticipation to music listening. It felt like a personalized radio station. Plus, ditching the screen lowered the price to mainstream levels. Fewer controls, better experience. This disruptive innovation transformed the entire trajectory of music players. Less is more embodies the essence of the subtraction strategy. When applying this strategy, one crucial principle matters. Distinguish between downgrading and subtraction. Downgrading means reducing product quality to lower prices, like budget tour packages using only buses with self-paid meals. But subtraction creates new experiences, not diminished ones. When brainstorming, ask, does this change offer fresh value or just worsen the experience? Next, let's discuss division strategy, the second model after subtraction. Unlike removing components, division separates and relocates elements to create entirely new functions. So its keywords are decomposition and reorganization. Many everyday products use this division strategy. Air conditioners are one example. Early units were huge because all components, thermostats, fans, cooling systems were bundled together. And then the division strategy led to some groundbreaking advances. First, the motor was separated from the indoor unit and placed outside, drastically reducing indoor noise and heat. Next, temperature control was split off into small remotes, allowing adjustments without moving. Similarly, USB drives and portable hard disks emerged by separating and miniaturizing computer storage components. This decomposition approach also improved service processes. For instance, airlines applied division by offloading check-in procedures, passengers print boarding passes, and select seats online. In some countries, luggage can even be checked a day early at designated spots, saving time and reducing airline workload. So, the third micro innovation strategy is multiplication. As the name suggests, it copies a product component to drive innovation. But mere copying isn't innovative. The key is modifying the copy part to create new value. Industrial design offers countless examples. In 1971, Gillette's twin blade razor used multiplication brilliantly. While single blades were standard, they added a second blade angled differently. One lifts hairs, the other cuts cleanly. This innovation allowed closer shaves, removing even stubborn stubble. Shaving became genuinely enjoyable. After its launch, competitors mimicked it with triple, quadruple, even six-blade designs. But the authors argue only the original twin blade was truly innovative. Later versions just stacked blades without functional improvements, only flashier marketing. The invention of double-sided tape follows the same logic. It duplicated the adhesive from one side to both sides of regular tape, creating an entirely new tape category through simple repositioning. These three micro-innovation strategies we've covered work best for mature products or processes. When applying them, the authors note that target selection is critical. Focus on essential, prominent components rather than minor ones. Like the phone's dialing function and AC motor from earlier examples, they're fundamental building blocks. Only by modifying such core elements can you achieve transformative value, not just superficial tweaks. Now let's examine the fourth micro-innovation strategy, task unification, assigning new roles to existing components to maximize resource potential. Notably, the authors call this the universal strategy, especially effective when resources are scarce, like funding gaps, outdated tech, or staffing shortages. The four-task unification. We must first inventory available resources within the framework. Resources fall into two categories: internal elements of the product, service, or process itself. Take computers. Internal elements include the motherboard, keyboard, monitor, etc. The other is external elements: users, desk lamps, even coffee cups nearby. People usually prioritize internal elements, overlooking external ones that often hold untapped potential. Once resources are mapped, unification can begin. The book outlines three unification methods. First, task outsourcing, reassigning internal tasks to external elements for new functions. A compelling example: a New York hotel president stayed twice at the same Seoul hotel within a year. During his second visit, front desk staff recognized him instantly, greeting warmly, "Welcome back, Mr. Ning. So good to see you again." This left a deep impression. They greeted him like a friend before even checking his ID. This small detail vastly improved the president's stay experience. So he decided to implement similar service enhancements at his own hotels. Back in New York, consultants suggested installing facial recognition systems at reception to identify guests. Only this could distinguish new guests from returning ones, and that the system cost a staggering $2.5 million. The president abandoned the plan, yet returned to Seoul determined to learn their secret. The answer was surprisingly simple: no tech, just external allies. What does that mean? The hotel had an agreement with taxi drivers. During rides, they casually asked if guests stayed there before. If yes, drivers placed luggage on the reception's right side as a signal. Drivers earned $1 tips each time for this. Through this simple external coordination, the hotel achieved premium service. Smartphone app stores are familiar. We download apps for various needs. Functions like photography, shopping, navigation. These stores exemplify task outsourcing. Early smartphones required manufacturers to develop all apps, slowing progress. App variety was scarce. People bought phones for specific built-in functions. In 2007, Apple innovated, keeping core apps while outsourcing development via SDKs to global programmers. This now commonplace practice was revolutionary at the time. By outsourcing tasks, Apple leveraged global talent, spawning countless apps that transformed mobile tech and dominated the market. The second unification method is the opposite of the first, called task insourcing, where internal elements handle external functions. Typically, businesses use external elements to present products like paper inserts in medicine boxes or posters in malls, making information obvious. But have you considered what happens when products introduce themselves? The UK market saw an app called Object Stories do exactly this. Users generate QR codes for beloved items, adding photos, videos, comments, and personal stories. Others scan the code to discover the item's life journey and hidden narratives. For example, scanning an antique piano reveals its previous owners, cities traveled, and tuning history, even its current home and significance. Here, Object Stories cleverly assigns product introduction to an internal element via QR code. The piano needs no manual, just scan its code for evolving stories. The authors see this as more than nostalgic. It builds deeper brand customer relationships. Companies can use collected reviews for product upgrades or craft authentic marketing from user stories. This creative solution perfectly demonstrates task insourcing, internal elements doing external work. The final method is task multiplication. It means elements perform extra duties beyond their original functions. Consider this story from the book. In the 1990s, director John Doyle, at a small theater company, wanted to stage a musical, but couldn't afford musicians. So he assigned musical accompaniment to his 10 actors, making them perform and play instruments. The result of this unique arrangement amazed the audience. Those accustomed to grand productions with 25-piece orchestras found the actors switching between acting and playing the cello to have a surreal artistic churn. Later, Doyle staged the musical Sweeney Todd in this format, which was then brought to London's West End and Broadway. Doyle also won the Tony Award, the highest honor in American theater and musicals, for pioneering the actor-musician performance style. At the Tony Awards, we introduced the fourth innovation strategy, task unification. It advocates fully utilizing existing resources within the framework through methods like task outsourcing, task insourcing, and task multiplication to achieve goals without external support. The secret of task unification is leveraging inconspicuous elements to maximize resource impact. When selecting elements, instead of following conventional wisdom, trust your gut feeling or choose randomly from all elements. This might lead to creative solutions, like the Seoul Hotel example, where they used taxi drivers to identify repeat customers. That's leveraging an unexpected element within the framework. Finally, let's look at the attribute dependency strategy, which involves linking internal attributes with external environments to achieve product and marketing innovation. The authors call this interconnected state attribute dependency. In other words, elements and steps in many products and processes are interdependent. Change one, and others adapt accordingly. It's like how a chameleon changes color based on its surroundings. Same principle. Hence, this strategy is also called the chameleon strategy. It's relatively complex to implement but has wide-ranging applications. First, the chameleon strategy can be applied to product innovation, especially common in the food industry. For example, a baby bottle that changes color based on milk temperature links two unrelated variables, bottle color and milk temp, to ensure perfect warmth for feeding. Second, the chameleon strategy also works for service and process innovation. In 1973, Domino's Pizza introduced its 30 minutes or free service, which falls under this innovation. This service guaranteed pizza delivery within 30 minutes of ordering, and if delivery took over half an hour, customers got discounts or even free pizza. This linked pizza price with delivery time, creating dependency. The late delivery free service was groundbreaking in 1970s America. It ensured pizza arrived hot while establishing Domino's unique brand identity, making it an overnight favorite. Additionally, internet growth expanded chameleon strategy to marketing, like Snickers' campaign with 7-Eleven Australia. They used big data algorithms to extract social media keywords, calculating net season sentiment indexes. This index updated every 20 minutes, directly setting Snickers' real-time prices in 7-Eleven stores. The worse online sentiment, the cheaper Snickers became, with discounts up to 82%. The message was clear. Snickers sacrificed itself to cheer people up. This case cleverly linked consumer mood with chocolate prices using big data. It sparked social media buzz while effectively boosting sales. Since the chameleon strategy is complex, let's explain it using an example. Suppose we're innovating baby diapers. Let's try these thinking steps. First, list product variables across two dimensions. Internal variables like diaper material, color, scent, etc. External variables, baby's waist volume, pH level, skin sensitivity, age, habits, diet, etc. Second, arrange these in rows and columns to identify valuable dependency combinations. For example, could diaper scent correlate with baby's waist volume? Current state, current diapers have fixed scents that don't change with waist amount. But if diapers were designed to be odorless until the baby excretes, then releasing a pleasant scent, could these variables form a dependency? Third, consider the value this creates. In this case, parents wouldn't need to repeatedly undress babies to check for soiled diapers, and babies wouldn't endure discomfort from overlooked diaper changes. Fourth, we must assess feasibility. Are there technical barriers? What's the R&D cost? Are scented diapers safe for infants? If all checks out, proceed. Otherwise, explore other variables. Crucially, the chameleon strategy hinges on variable selection. Don't confuse components with variables. In diapers, scent is a component, its intensity and duration are variables. Second, ensure at least one variable is controllable. Uncontrollable pairs won't work. With that, we've covered micro innovation. Let me recap. This book teaches fast, resourceful innovation using existing tools. The five strategies: subtraction, division, and multiplication work best for mature products. By removing, separating, or copying internal elements, we create new functions and meet needs. Task unification maximizes resources via outsourcing, insourcing, or multiplication, ideal when external support is scarce. Finally, the chameleon strategy. It creates meaningful links between internal attributes and external environments for novel products and services. Micro innovation makes inspiration accessible, no longer distant or elusive. As the authors say, look around. Creative wisdom is everywhere. What we need to do is uncover these patterns and apply them boldly. Great products don't need to disrupt everything. Sometimes just a tiny change can hook your users. Master micro innovations' unique strategies, and you too can create brilliant ideas and breakthrough products. All right, micro innovation. That concludes our book breakdown. Keynotes are below the audio. See you tomorrow.